and welcome back to the OG Squadcast. This is episode 2. If you didn't watch episode 1, please do go and watch it. This is an awesome podcast that, has started here on Shenz63 Gaming, and we're looking forward to making some awesome things come true with this. Today, we don't just have the OG Squad with us, but we have someone that's become rather synonymous with the channel, with Shenz63 Gaming. You know what? Actually, right now, in the comments, take a guess who it is. You never know if you could have it right. But in case you did get it wrong, or you just want to know, here we go. Introducing Julian, a.k.a. Mr Chipmunk.
What's up, guys?
Julian.
Good to be here.
Yikes, dude. Julian, today, I must say, I am truly stoked to have you here. This is something that I never thought we would ever get the chance to do. And I'm so glad to have you here. Thanks for coming on. And on that note, today you might see on the right-hand side of the screen, we're actually missing 2 people. And that's Suv and Rahul, aka, Shoebarn and Fuquaffle. So unfortunately, we're not able to have them here today, but we do have the amazing Rome's right over here. I'm never going to get that finger thing right, but we have Rome's and we have Venal, and I'm looking forward to an awesome podcast. And Julian is here today. What do you have to say to the tons and tons of fans that you have, Julian?
Well, this is my face. Maybe you've seen it before. So yeah, it's weird actually being myself in a video now. It's not just an alias anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I'm happy to be on the podcast. Like, obviously, I watched the first one, I loved it, and I was like, yeah, I want my turn now.
Yeah. No, dude, and it's honestly
a pleasure to have you on. We've
exactly
been looking forward. When we were planning it, dude, you were definitely the next guest, the first guest.
Yeah.
First
I
guest.
appreciate that.
First guest.
Yeah. No, true facts. And, like, for those of you that have, obviously Julian said he's here for the first time, you've seen him for the first time. Before now, we always just knew him as Mr. Chipmunk, or that guy in the live streams, that mod, that's always so cool and so amazing, and no one's actually seen him. And, just to introduce him, I'd like to say, this is a guy that, I met at school, just like many other people that have been featured here on the channel and will be. But this guy stands out. This guy was someone that I saw that was, special, just a cut above the rest. And, I feel that him and I, you'll see as we explain the whole story, you'll notice that him and I were never really this close, and it's actually a shared, let's say a shared interest or shared passion that, brought Julian here to the channel. And, that's what we're here to talk about today. And that topic is none other than gaming, the cornerstone pretty much of Shen63 Gaming, which, it's literally in the name. So that's what we're here to talk about today. And, moving into that, I'd like to talk about, or I'd like to dive into rather, everyone's favorite games at the moment, because, coronavirus, the whole pandemic has actually got people, locked down, quite literally, inside their homes, and lots of people are consuming digital media a lot more than they usually do. They pretty much, like they might watch Netflix, they might watch a lot of YouTube, they might, use video calling services a lot more often than they usually would, and gaming fits right in there. So, yeah, like,
Did you see
yeah.
in the beginning of lockdown, Amazon, like, they got sold out of PS4s and Xbox Ones, because as soon as lockdown was announced, everyone ordered one.
Yikes, I didn't know that.
They were going to be spending time. So they all sold out, and people, especially Nintendo Switches as well, because there was that new game. What's that
Yeah,
game
Was
no,
it
called?
Animal
Crossing
Crossing?
blew
Animal
up.
Yeah,
Crossing,
Animal
Animal
yes.
Crossing blew up.
Those things sold
Pretty sure
out
everyone I know
so
is playing that
fast.
game.
Yeah, very sure. Yikes.
So
The
fast.
amount of streamers I've seen playing Animal Crossing. Oh my goodness. And it's literally everyone, you know, it's people that you never thought you'd see playing Animal Crossing or a game like Animal Crossing.
Mm.
It just brought so many people on board, and it's become such a successful game.
Yeah,
And
I think it's
yeah,
just like the chill vibes surrounding it.
true
Because like
facts.
Yeah.
most gamers like go hard, you know.
It's like a game that you can just.
Also game.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Vino's having major
Oof.
connection
yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Major
Man,
transformer.
Oh wait. What about now?
South African Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no.
180 ping.
Yeah. No, Vino's ping is sitting on like 1,000 right now.
Well, he seems to be back now.
So I'm just saying, like, it's completely different. It's like why people played like Pokemon and Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm guilty of both of those.
Same.
Almost at the point where I can name all 151 Gen 1 Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they.
Okay.
I didn't even know they were that many. You know.
And
I'm
I'm proud of
completely
that.
lost.
Almost.
Like,
But yeah, back to Animal Crossing. I think like that will be one of the biggest games of 20.
yeah.
Like that game just blew up. Like Chanel was saying, people
Mm.
that you would never expect to play it, like these hardcore gamers or like your Call of Duty players or just content creators in general that have built up a persona that is like swearing or whatever, or plays violent games instead of like your Minecrafts or whatever.
Mm.
You see them like on Twitch or whatever in their free time, they're streaming Animal Crossing, and you're just
Yeah.
like, it's such a weird thing because it's such a different type of game compared to what you would expect them to play.
Yeah, definitely. There's that major contrast, and I think that's actually a very good thing. It's sort of the resurgence or the revival of these kind of games. You know, like the chilled games, the single player games. Also, you know, like people have jumped into single player games on a scale that I never expected. I don't think anyone ever expected. And you know, talking about that, one major single player game that's actually come out now, you guys probably know what I'm talking about, and it's The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
Ooh,
It is
oh,
popping off.
dude,
it's so
YouTubers
dude, but
hopping on it.
a lot of people don't like it as well though.
well,
I think it's so much worse than part one.
well, the thing is, like, you're never gonna
That's true.
live up to the status that The Last of Us One had. No matter
Mm,
how good your game is as a sequel,
yeah,
like The Last of Us has a special place in so many people's hearts as like the best. It's best. People have called it the best game ever made,
yeah,
and I'm not gonna say I 100% agree with that, but like, it's one of my favorite games ever.
true facts.
Just because like I'm when it comes to gaming, I'm more of like a story kind of guy, like atmosphere and sound design and that kind of stuff. And playing, or I haven't actually played The Last of Us, but I've watched a lot of footage on it, and I've had friends play it, and like me
Mm,
sitting there and watching them play,
yeah,
and just watching that game play out the way it did, like how the story ended, like the climaxes, the conflicts and all that kind of stuff, was just an amazing experience when I first saw it, and
mm,
that's possibly one of the reasons that I fell in love with gaming. Like, you follow this character through this intense story of like struggle and violence and stuff, but then
mm,
you don't even realize that you're watching or playing a game fall into that world.
yeah.
That's just something that's always been so interesting to me about gaming. That's how I fell in love with it, being honest.
Very true. You know, like I think my early days of gaming, the early days of Shins, you know,
Mm.
the Shins that used to, you know, pick up a PS2 controller. Imagine this right
Oh
now.
yeah.
Imagine the scenes, bro. It was this little kid, little Shins, I think like 10 years ago, that fell in love with, you know, ironically, the Ratchet and Clank franchise.
Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah. We were
And I know,
discussing this the other day.
I know. Rome's definitely agrees with me. It's such a good franchise, and now, like, I saw just the other day when we watched the PS5 launch. Rome's and I actually watched it together.
Yeah,
And we saw that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
making another Ratchet and Clank game, and that's coming out
How
on the
good does it look?
PS5. Dude, oh my goodness, bro. The
That whole
that thing
grab,
is
teleporting
intense.
mechanic
it's
and the
oh,
graphics.
it's incredible. You know,
It's
to
gonna be
see that
great.
whole refresh and to see the story carry on in a way that was very similar to, you know, I don't know, this was something that, or this is something rather that people might not agree with, but I feel, you know, where they've actually showcased the rifts. For those of you that haven't watched, you know, the trailer, it's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's the name. That's the name of the game. Um, and I found that the Rift idea was very similar to the portals. Um, I'm not sure. I think they actually refer to that whole collective area as the Nexus in Ratchet and Clank Nexus, and I think they're building
Uh,
on that idea. But I don't know. I don't know how right I am, or if there's going to be any link between the two. That's going to be very interesting to find out.
I think you're actually
Yeah,
onto something there.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, from the guy that actually theorizes so many things. This is Rome's, dude. Like, for all of you guys out there, Rome's is that kind of guy that will call something 6 months in advance and it will come true. It'll be that exact same thing, like to the T. And it's
I don't know if that's a
incredible.
blessing or a curse though.
Yeah, true. Because it could just be like an endless repository of spoilers, you
Mm.
know. So I'll take it.
And
I'll
it's not
take
even someone
Certainly,
else's fault. You're
certainly
just
is.
spoiling yourself.
it.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
Dude, you know what's interesting to see?
Yep.
That you guys fell in love with like single player games and like story
Mm.
modes.
Yes.
I was always a FIFA player.
Yo,
Like
yes.
since the beginning, a FIFA player. The
No,
first online shooter that I ever played, which isn't even a shooter, is Fortnite.
yes.
That was the first time.
We spoke
That was
about
the
I
this
think
first
that
so
was
time.
many
many
times.
first. I
Every
think that was
time.
many people's first like BR or not BR even first S like shooter game.
Yeah, true, true.
Shooters.
I think definitely. I mean, people that wouldn't have, you know, like younger kids, around the age of
Mm.
like 14, 15. I mean, if you're looking at Fortnite pros, like look at some of their ages. You know, they're so much younger than
Yeah.
us. Um, and yeah, you know, it's people like that, like, you know, younger children, younger kids that, you know, jumped into Fortnite and they would have never touched something like, you know, Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that. And it's amazing to see, you know, like from our last episode as well, you know, how it's brought in so many younger players as well. It's such a great game. And
Dude, it's because
Mm.
yeah,
Epic found a way to tap into like the younger generations because they managed to bypass the age restrictions that many
mm,
parents are like super sticky on.
mm,
Well, I
Because
mean,
like
we
I know
we
a
Yeah.
lot of
grew.
people who are like, I can't get a card until I actually turn 18
yeah,
because of its
Yeah.
true,
age restrict.
true.
But then there's other kids who've been playing COD since they were like 9 because their
Yeah,
older cousin had it.
very
Dude, I mean,
true.
So
I've
you
been playing
see,
World
you
Combat
see,
since I was 9.
There we go.
dude. So like this is kids' first experience with a shooter, and it just so happened to be the biggest game to blow up
Mm,
in like
I
the
also think
past
something
decade.
they did really well with that is like you have this, you know, it's called a 9-year-old kid who has an Xbox, and all of a sudden there's this free game
yes.
online that has a super like you have to admit it's a great art style for what
Yeah,
it is.
true
Yeah,
facts.
Like very
definitely.
very intriguing or not intriguing like inviting to the younger audience.
Yeah,
So like people start playing it and it gets huge, and then all of these streamers start playing it because it's the first big BR that came out after PUBG,
yes.
PUBG.
and this one actually had elements that people were like, "Oh wow, that's like an interesting take on like a shooter game." There's building all of a sudden. You don't have to worry
Yes,
about finding
yo,
cover
that's
anymore.
actually so
It's
true,
your
you
own
know.
cover. So now you get all these big streamers starting to play the game, and then obviously all of the people watching these streamers are like, "Oh, I want to play it too," which are your 9-year-old kids,
Yeah.
depending on who you are, but like up in like 9 to like your our age,
Yeah,
and then
pretty
the
much.
game takes off, and now this kid has been playing Fortnite all this time, and then he tells his buddy to play with him, like on the weekend. All of a sudden, this game grows, and now every single kid in this generation has seen or played a Fortnite game live before.
Yeah, very
And
true.
it's so interesting to see.
I mean, I'm getting deja vu vibes right now from like last weekend when we actually reminisced about how Fortnite brought the whole OG squad together, and
Yeah.
yikes, like I feel that's why. I mean, Rahul isn't here with us today, but I would say, I mean, okay, not to speak for him, but I think right now, I don't know if you guys would agree, like Rome's and Vino, I think you guys would probably agree that like right now, Fortnite is Rahul's favorite game, like hands down.
Hands down. Yeah, hands
I don't
down.
know if it's
I think
his
it's the only game he
favorite.
played.
I don't, dude. I think it's his only game that he can like play
Yeah.
with other people.
True facts.
It's like,
Yeah.
dude, it's that or like online injustice.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
MK11. Oh,
Yeah, I was
sorry.
gonna say, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it
I
is
mean,
a
also
fun
just
game when you're playing with
Okay.
mates and you're not taking it seriously.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
us
I
on
think-
stream. That's literally us on stream.
Yeah.
Dude, and I think that's how it is for most games. Because like, okay, there are like competitive players who find joy in playing at a high level.
Mm.
But for majority of us, it's just playing with your friends.
Yeah, true
Like
facts.
even if you're bots, like just playing with your friends just makes it fun.
Me and Chanel were talking about it last night when we were testing the podcast out. And we were
Yes.
saying like Fortnite, or not even Fortnite, just gaming in general for like you guys, the OG squad. It's like I've obviously sat through the videos or like the streams that you guys have done, and I've edited them down, and it's just like while I sit there, you can tell straight away that it's just a bunch of mates just hanging out
Yes.
in it. Instead of doing it in real life, obviously with the circumstances, or like because you guys are in matric now, it's like you guys are just doing it on a game. There's no difference, and it's just it's totally wholesome content. It's just like you can tell that these guys are like would play for a whole night, like you guys said in the last podcast, that you would just sit there and play the whole night away.
Yeah, until like 3 o'clock
just
in the
because
morning,
you
dude.
never get bored of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So true.
What
And
time did fly?
it's so sick. Yeah. They said one story about that time. I think Rome's and I, we actually got a win at 5:45 in the morning.
Oh, that was
No,
a good time.
dude, that was so strange.
I swear that was the game where we only got 2 kills.
Dude,
We
it
only
was
got 2
so
kills
dumb. Yeah, it
because there
was so
no one
dumb.
on the
Winners
game.
will
There
win
was
it
no
to
one
win.
left, dude. We didn't know what was going on. It was like, oh, okay, focus this guy, and it turns out, oh yeah, it's the last guy. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Like, we literally eliminated him, and they were like, wait, did the game get stuck? And they were like, victory royale. I'm like, what? I didn't even know what was going on. Oh man.
Dude, but
So
there's
what
one
would you
thing I
say-
want to know. I want to
Yo.
know, Julian, how you became a mod on the channel. That's what I want.
Yo.
2 years ago, like pretty early on in the channel's existence.
I
like,
think it was
obviously-
around that time. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be like a little bit less than 2 years, but we were obviously Chanel starts this YouTube channel, and everybody at school is talking about it, whether it's they're like poking fun at it or like talking about how cool this is. And I was like,
There was two
wait, this
halves.
guy actually has like a yeah, like obviously Chanel mentioned it earlier. We were mates. Like we played hockey. Like whenever it was hockey, like we would talk before practice or like
Yes.
before matches or whatever. Or like at break when we saw each other, we'd go and chat for a bit.
Mm.
And when I heard he had a channel, I was like, okay, cool. Let me go check this out. And started watching his content. And then one day he decided to stream Apex. And
That was with
he was
Robes. That
just
was
streaming-
literally with Robes.
Was it with Robes?
Yeah, dude, Robes. Remember
Yeah,
that
Robes.
first stream that we did? It was that first one. Literally, I think I made one video on it.
Well, it
It
could
was
have
us
been.
two and we were doing falls at the time.
Mm.
Oh yes, I
So-
think
First
later
one.
on. I think later on, Vino
Yeah.
came.
Later on, you joined.
And I'm sitting in the chat in this stream, and all of a sudden, like these like two guys pop into the chat. Obviously, we don't know them, but they like start typing. They're like, "Hey, what's this all about?" And we're like talking back to them. And then
I
all of a
remember
sudden,
this.
out of nowhere, this one kid comes and he's like types this super racist joke in the chat.
Mm.
And at the time, obviously, if you're new to Chanel's channel, his streams used to have text to speech on them.
I think that was such a big mistake, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this guy comes in and he types this super racist joke, and I'm like typing in chat, I'm like, Chanel, quickly, can you give me mod? Give me mod quickly?
Yes.
So Chanel's like just playing along, and he looks at Chan and he's like, he's like, oh, Julian, you want mod? Okay. And he makes me mod.
It was the strangest thing I ever did.
And as quickly as I could, I went to the message and deleted it. And it still comes up on voice chat, and I just sit there like, oh, Chanel, why didn't you see it like that?
Why didn't you see it a little bit sooner? I remember it was so dodgy. And then like we banned those guys immediately. And for the rest of that stream, I just sat there. I sat there and I was thinking, what just happened? You know,
basically, my role as a mod in the beginning was just to like make sure that people weren't going to be typing those types of messages in the chat, so it wouldn't be read out on stream. But obviously now that Chanel doesn't have text to speech on anymore, I normally just lurk there and
look. I love the way he says that. Just look.
Yeah, so I just make sure that no one's trying to bait him into saying stuff or like.
Oh, and that's nearly happened. It's nearly happened so many times. Like some random dude will come in with such a dodgy, like like YouTube account name, and then he'll say like, "Say my name," and I'll read it first because you already know when you say it, you're like, "Wait, this is not right. It's not right." I just got debated, but it's something that now that I have Julian, this is another thing. Like he'll sit in streams and he'll talk to everyone that comes in and he'll say, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Please stick around, all that kind of stuff. And, I feel that Julian really is a person that keeps the community together. He's sort of that fabric that holds us together. And that's something I'm really grateful for, Julian. Thanks so much. And
yeah. We can always count on you to be in the stream.
Yeah, that's very true. Facts. Yeah, it's great.
Wise, I became editor actually like very recently.
Very recently.
Officially became editor.
Yeah.
But the idea kind of started, I can't remember, when Chanel and I were discussing the community games clip like challenge.
Yes, the CGC, yes.
The CGC, we were obviously talking about that, and we had this idea, and we put it together, and we shipped it out.
Yeah.
And it completely failed. Like,
it fell so flat. No, it was so bad. It just died.
And we were like, what? Like, it's such a good idea, but it didn't, like, nothing came of it. So then one day, I think either I messaged Chanel or he messaged me, and we were like, why don't me and you get clips together and we make our own clips video?
Yes.
Just to like push people a bit and see like, oh, this actually is a real thing. Like, we're gonna be taking people's clips and making them into videos. And then I said to him, like, would you mind if I give it a shot at editing? He's like, no, go for it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, put it together on some free software that I literally Googled as like free software video editors. And I was like, okay, cool. This one has good reviews. Downloaded it, put the clips in, made like a pretty average video. And I was like, hey, Chanel, here's my video. What are you thinking? He's like, no, I love this video. Like, I'm going to do some voiceover on it and we'll post it and see how it does.
Yeah.
And I think it did okay. Like, nothing overly special about it. And then
he says that. He says that though. He says that, but I'm telling you, the amount of times I went back and I watched that video, both for the clips and the editing, like I feel that was the start when I noticed the talent that Julian has, and it's incredible.
It was a good video.
It really was.
I still remember watching that video, and it was pretty sick because it was a different editing style to Shenz's, which was cool.
And I think that's why so many people really are enjoying Streamy Sunday highlights right now. And for those of you that don't know, by the time that this comes out, I think it'll be Monday. But back on Saturday, if you didn't know, we actually released Streamy Sunday Highlights Part 2, and that was also edited by Julian. I must say, I gave it a watch myself, like before I uploaded it, and then when I uploaded it, I went back and I watched it again just to relive all of the, all of the insane laughs, all of the moments from that stream, with the boys, and it's incredible. Like I said earlier, Julian really is that fabric which holds us together. And you can see it in everything, especially now he's editing, now that he's getting the chance. And now that I'm not going to say I've given him the chance, he's definitely earned it, and he's an incredible guy. He's a guy that, I definitely don't regret even a single bit giving the job of being a mod and being an editor too. And it's incredible stuff. Honestly, I'm so happy that I've had the chance to work with Julian and have Julian work with me and make such a great impact on the channel.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a journey. I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to test out some stuff that I was interested in.
Yeah.
The one thing that gave me an advantage when it came to editing, I don't even know how many hours I have of just watching YouTube.
Yeah, true. We spoke about
it. It must be in the thousands, man.
Hey, yo,
YouTube
same.
I think that's everyone
I don't
here.
watch TV anymore.
Yeah, true.
Watch YouTube.
It's either YouTube or Netflix, honestly. And YouTube is just it's short videos. It's not TV. It's not a show. It's just fun stuff. And it's so bingeable. I'm telling you, I get stuck on YouTube for hours and hours. And I think Rose, you can agree too.
Yeah, no. You'll start with one 10-minute video, and then you'll be like, I have enough time. There's a 30-minute video. Why don't I just watch it?
The algorithm is so good. Yeah, so good.
Oh.
It's
Biggest
too good.
mistake to start watching a YouTube video on your break from studying.
Oh.
Don't go back.
There's no going back to. There's nothing.
Or before you're about to before you go to bed.
Oh no!
When you realize 3 hours later, it's oh damn, I was supposed to go to bed, but nah, it's
okay. Yo, I'm falling into that trap. One more, and it just turns into so much longer.
After the community game clips video, there was a bit of a dry patch, and then
I think that was around prelims and that kind of stuff, and then that's when the channel really became dry. And to all of the Shenz63 gamers out there, I mean, I spoke about this in the first episode, and Vino and Rome's are going through this right now, and that's why I must thank them so much, for giving up their time. It's a Saturday evening, it's Saturday night, when we're recording this actually, and it's time that you would normally just sit and you'd chill, you'd relax, you'd unwind and take some time to truly just chill, honestly, after the long week you've had of matric. And that's really what they're facing right now. And back then, this rough patch that we're talking about is I was going through that at that time, and that's why I really apologize for that dry patch. But now, I mean, I'm also in university. It's been, I'd say, quite a challenge, trying to balance, trying to create content and also, stay focused on all things uni. And it's something that I'm actually quite excited to do more of, because I found it's made me a lot more productive, and it's just such a good thing. It's such a different experience. Uni's completely different. And right now, I don't know, it's in my mind. I've been sitting here for the past minute while I started talking about this topic, and I was thinking, should I leak? Should I put a little bit of a teaser in for a video that's coming? Because there's a little bit of a university based video that's going to be coming on the channel quite soon, maybe next week or so, but I will say quite soon. And that will give you guys a little bit of insight into what at least the first year of university is like.
Dude, this lockdown was also a blessing for you, because I remember chatting to you were playing squash, and I was like, dude, when was the last time you gamed? You're like, damn, dude, January, and this was in March. Dude, and then I was like, dude, are you ever gonna upload? And it's like, nah, dude, let me get through this uni year. And I was like, whoa.
I'm like, dude, it was literally, when I said those words, I thought to myself, Shenz, are you really saying this, dude? Like, are you ready for this? But making content and also gaming, it's something that it's just an escape, a release. It's something that you do just for a bit of fun. You have tons of laughs with your mates, and even now, like when we separated like this, it's made it so much more bearable because in the first like 1 or 2 weeks of lockdown, and I remember that university shut down 1 week before it was supposed to, and that was 1 week before like the national lockdown started. And I was sitting there that whole week, and I was like, bro, I'm so bored. What am I gonna do?
Oh yeah.
And the thing was that we were like, I still had so much stuff to do because we were supposed to like write a whole week of tests and stuff, and that was like our whole major assessment thing for like term one, if you want to call it that. Um, and that was right about the time when Vino and Rome's and well, Sue, Rahul, the entire matric class. That's when they had MD.
Yeah.
And dude,
Yeah, they got fired.
I regret it so much because I said, like I was going to go to the after party with them, and we were gonna have a great time, and the guys really did land up having an awesome time, and they said, no, don't worry, like you're being sent home for now, but don't worry, next week you definitely will come back and you're gonna write those tests, like under no circumstances are you being let off the hook, and then.
And
National
now 7
lockdown
months
hit.
later.
We wrote those tests like over 3 month period from having to write it in 1 week, and I actually really regret not going to the after party with the boys. But
So that
it
was
is
the
what
last
it is.
time we went out, or you would have gone out like properly.
Yeah, probably.
Properly, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are so lucky to actually have AMD because everyone else has just got cancelled.
We were the last
Yeah.
MD.
Yeah,
Literally
very
the
last
last one,
The very
the
last.
last one.
perfect timing.
Well, I mean, touching on that, like Chanel and I went through matric last year, and
Yeah.
we had it. We had it as rough as everyone else did. Everybody got stressed. Like
Yeah.
people thought they were gonna fail. Like the issue of everyone complaining about the workload and all that kind of stuff and all the
Mm.
stress that came with it. But we never had that stress of like, oh, are we actually gonna have an MD, or are we gonna have our valediction, or are we even gonna be at school?
Yeah.
Or even
Dude,
gonna finish
so
the syllabus.
yeah. I
I
knew that was gonna be the next question.
In time for prelims or even finals in a year that is like the most important. Like
Yeah.
without that certificate that you get, like you go nowhere, and there's no
Mm.
university options then, and then
Mm.
you've got the matric class of this year who have to all do it from home, which takes like a serious amount of diligence
Mm.
and like just um self motivation. And I really do applaud you guys on doing that. Like honestly, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I still stand by the fact that I got most of my work done at school
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
survived, but
Dude,
I do applaud you guys for being able
Thank you.
to put up
dude,
with
thanks,
the
man.
situation you've been put
Yeah,
in.
no, it's
Thank you
rough,
so
but
much.
I mean, dude, you got to get through it either way.
Mm.
Just got to
It
get
is
through
what
it.
it is.
It is what it is. Nothing like a
I
little
think
bit
that's
of
Sunil's
laughter to
favorite
yeah,
line.
and I promise you, I use that line so often. I think people have like the people that I say it to, they've become so sick of it. I think whenever I speak to them, they pretty much sitting there and they're like, no, please, please don't say it is what it is. Please don't say. Please don't say.
Thanks.
No one ever complain in front of Chanel ever again, because you know what's coming
You
with
know
this
what's
one.
coming. The wrath of Julian is coming. That meme will live on for, I think, another 20 years or something. Too
Dude,
good.
Julian, where are you studying this year?
I didn't get accepted to university this year, so I decided to rewrite geography and bio because those well, geography wasn't bad, but bio was, and those were the two subjects that I could up my marks in. So I was supposed to write my rewrites this month while you guys were doing June exams,
Mm.
but now it looks like I'm going to be doing it in December when New York's write final. So
Uh,
I just got another 6 months of nothing to do. I'm literally going to have to write the test, get my marks, and apply within like half a month.
mm,
Hopefully,
yikes.
will turn out favorable for me. But
You got this,
We'll
bro.
have to
You
see.
got this, bro. We're
Yeah.
all here. We're backing you,
We
bro.
back you, bro. We back
Yeah,
you.
dude.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, all of the Shenz63 gamers out there, please, if you've gotten to this point in the podcast, please do wish Julian luck. He's an incredible guy. He deserves it. And we know he's going to smash this year. He's got this, bro. You got this.
Shit.
Thank you. I have the motivation. I'm my boys.
Wow. Every single time, it comes to this, it's so good just to, have this time with the boys. And, like that, I feel I've actually kind of, you know, missed out on that a little bit now. And I kind of feel that I wish I made more time for that, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult to do that because the boys aren't available either. And this is a funny story, like with gaming, right? I think on the weekends we said like, okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop on Fortnite, still have the same old loss that we have, like in the evenings, spend a few hours together, catch up, ask the boys how the week has been, how they're coping, how they're doing. And you know, that kind of stuff, it either hasn't happened because of, whatnot, like whatever circumstances, or, like the guys are just like it's so tiring, It's really tiring for you guys, I know, and it's hard. That's why like I've sat back and I'm saying, okay, you know what, Shadil, you have it so much better. You're so much better off than these guys because right now I'm studying and I have a break from university. Whereas these guys haven't had any holidays
Yeah.
or anything. And it's incredibly hard. It's
The trick
incredibly
was the
hard.
year I realized how valuable sleep is.
Yo,
Yeah.
true fact. Especially now, because, and you guys can quote me on this, Vino and Rome's. You guys can actually quote me, or like, let's say, rate how accurate this is. I'd say you get most of your sleep inside the classroom.
I mean, Rome's does, but you know best.
No,
No.
it's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
Hey,
Dude,
that was
No.
100% me.
Oh.
I'll back that up. That was me,
dude,
bro.
I don't sleep in.
Throwing you under the bus,
I
dude.
used to sleep in accounting,
Oh,
but then I realized
the
I actually
infamous
don't pay
account.
attention. It's like, I'm gonna fail if I don't pay attention.
Yo,
For me, it
no.
was like Mr. Jackson's bio lesson. Just DOS.
But dude,
Oh.
the good thing with
yeah.
Jackson is that he's funny
Definitely.
though, so like that can keep you
No,
awake.
but at the same time, it's just he's so boring. Like he knows what he's talking about, and I don't doubt that he knows what he's talking about. But it's just the way that he taught us. It was just so like, if you wanted to learn, then it was fine. You could learn as much as you wanted, like very easily with him. But at the same time, when you had him as like a last lesson of the day after you've had like a double English and stuff, then you're just like, I can afford to miss this bio lesson, and like he's not gonna be too mad if I fall asleep.
Dude, I don't know if he would be like the first person to actually, like shout at you or anything. Because to be honest, I never, like, I don't think I ever spoke to that guy in my life.
Seriously, you haven't
No,
had an interaction with Jackson.
no, not at
Never.
all, dude. Never. I promise you, I never walked into his class. I think we chilled in his class one day, like when it was super cold, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
Didn't he like invigilate you in like
I
standardized
swear you had
periods?
Geo in his
Then
class, didn't you?
No, no,
nah.
no, 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 no. We had
Never.
Geo like above him and that kind of stuff, but yeah, never in his class.
Oh.
Ironically, and I don't know if that's a blessing or if it's a curse. Actually, I don't know.
Nah, dude, he's funny. He's funny. He's
Hmm.
funny.
It's very funny.
Ah, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. That's something you always look for in everyone that you really need to pay attention to for a long time. And that's something that, we try to do here. That's something we're trying to do here on the channel. And I really hope, actually, we all really hope that you guys out there, you guys watching out there, the Shen63 gamers, really enjoy this kind of content. And that's why we are committed, it like 100% to, creating awesome content, stuff that makes you laugh, stuff that keeps you engaged, and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. And with that, Julian, I actually wanted to ask you, after all of this talk, what is your favorite game at the moment?
Well, are we saying currently or like of all time?
I think currently, and I think let's do something of all time. Like we do both, and we actually see how it compares, and maybe how old like the all time one is. It'll be interesting.
Well, if I had to say currently, it would probably be Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh yes, yes, we already know
I
this.
think I've got like 400 hours in that game.
Oh my goodness!
Jeez.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That's
bro!
the way.
I spent a lot of time in that game because for me, what was so cool about it is like it's your first person shooter like your Call of Duties, but it's so much more like tactical in the sense that
Yeah.
there's certain things you can do to make the round harder for the other team to like even
Other team.
get into the building.
Mm.
Like Call of Duty, you've got your frag grenades and that kind of stuff, or like your trophy systems, but there's no real like strategy to it. It's more of like if you can be really good at aiming and shooting, controlling your movement, then you're going to be a
Mechanically.
good Call of Duty player. Yeah,
Mm.
but if you're thinking like with Siege, you can destroy the floors, for example, and aim through floors
I
to one
love
floor
that.
to
I
shoot
love
people
that
below you.
actually.
Or you can reinforce walls so that certain operators have to use like explosives to open the door instead of being able to just like shoot the wall open a bit. And
Mm.
for me, it was like this totally new type of game. Like it wasn't just a shooter, it was a strategy game that
Yes.
incorporated a first person shooting element to it. And for me, that was like a whole new world. And for like even now, I follow the pro league of that game. And I've got my team, and I watch all the European stuff and that kind of stuff. And you watch them play the game, and you don't even when you think of how you play the game, you would never have thought that certain things were possible. But then you watch the pro
Yes.
players play it, and then you're like, wow, if I shoot a hole in this part of the floor and then go downstairs and shoot it in that part of the floor, I'm going to be able to see down 3 floors and be able to kill somebody. And it's just like,
Wow.
how do you like?
How do
It's
you
just
even
a
think of
game,
that?
and that,
Yeah, true. Dude.
and the one thing that really stuck out to me is that it's a game that you can play on so many levels, but you can
Mm.
never master.
Oh,
There's always going to be
yes.
someone that knows a better angle than you, or that has thought something through, or has just assumed what strategy you're going to use and has countered it. And
Yeah.
that's the big thing about Siege is that every operator has a different ability or utility, for example. But on the other hand, there's operators that counter that. So it's a big
Yes.
like thought process game.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
amazing.
I think currently that's the my favorite game. And then of all time, it would either have to be Guitar Hero 3 on the
Oh,
Wii.
what a
Jeez,
classic.
throwback.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
Or
Dang,
The Last of
bro.
Us. Obviously, earlier on, I spoke about like the whole new world that I experienced with that game. And
Yeah.
as I said, I'm like a big graphics, like sound kind of guy and storytelling. So
Yeah,
for
immersion.
me, like the gameplay immersion, yeah. So for me, the gameplay is not always like the priority. It's more how connected you are to characters after being introduced to them, or how the game makes you feel after you've watched it. Like
Yikes.
both The Last of Us 1 and 2 are one of the few things that have ever made me cry. In the sense of
Yo.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
watching
Yo.
something and being so immersed in it that once something terrible happens to a character or something is found out and you're like, oh wow, this is all scripted, but it feels like
It
that's
feels
been
so
personally
real.
it's happening to me right now, but
Wow.
obviously it's a game. And
Dang.
I think the Last of Us series was the only real game that's ever done that, where I've been so immersed in it that it was like amazing just to go through the journey with the character.
Mm. Nah, definitely. And you've brought up so many points in my mind right now, and I'd love to say that I haven't played The Last of Us. I'd really love to,
Mm.
but at the moment, I mean, it's been quite a long time. But what we're going to be doing is Okay, you guys would have found this out because by the time this goes off, it would have already happened. But we're having another Detroit stream tomorrow, basically Sunday, but you guys will only see this on Monday.
Streamy Sundays.
Yeah, Streamy Sunday is coming back with Detroit. The return.
Finally.
Thank goodness. You know, I'm so happy that I'm bringing it back. I'm so happy for you guys to watch as well. And Detroit, I must say, has done the same thing for me. I would say, actually on the same level. But I think that, obviously it's a bit skewed now because, like, you've played The Last of Us, I haven't. And I don't know if you've played Detroit either. But Detroit's done that for me. And everything that has happened in the game thus far, it's it's just so immersive. That's literally the word. That you feel that when you're playing a character, you become that character. You feel everything they're feeling. And it's so amazing. I am mind blown every time I play that game or I see content based on it. And to think that it was launched at such an early time in the PS4's history. And they did such amazing things with it, like the graphics, the whole thought process, the whole UI, the way that everything worked, that the alternate storylines, they're insane, absolutely insane. And also going on to or like let's say linking to what you said about different characters and different abilities. My favorite game right now, I would say, is actually Apex Legends. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would say Apex. Apex is my go-to right now. I've spent many an afternoon, and this you'll also find out. Grinding Apex. You would have seen this on the MTG Insta if you've been watching that. And yeah, myself, Vino, one of our other mates, Krugs, and one of my uni mates, Mo. We've actually had such a great time on Apex, and yeah, it's so nice. They've changed the metas greatly, and it's a constantly evolving game, and you can play it at so many levels, just like you can do with Rainbow Six Siege, and that's why I love it so much. And I don't know what Vino's about to say, but I'm gonna put him on the spot here. Vino, what is your favorite game right now?
I mean, I don't have a favorite game, but there's one game I play without a doubt. Like, I make time to play FIFA.
Oh, I know that. I can second that. I can second that.
It's like one of the worst games to play because like there's just so much wrong with the game. I can't help it. Dude. Being a football fan, dude, and then just like playing FIFA, it's like goes hand in hand.
Yeah, very true. Wow,
So,
dude.
Are you the type of FIFA player that waits for like team of the season packs?
Yeah, dude.
To come out.
I wait for everything. I wait for the start of the game to grind Ultimate Team. I'm there in the middle of the game for all those random promos. I'm there at the end of the game. I'm there when the game doesn't even have promos anymore. I'm still there.
What a diehard! You're a diehard fan, literally. I was about to say. Oh, bless you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Anytime, bro. And Rome's, to put you on the spot. Dude, which games have you started in? Well, not really started. Which games have you been enjoying recently, or like even your favorite games of all time? Like just, yeah.
Well, recently I haven't been playing PlayStation.
That's very true.
But I have been mobile gaming.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out to the mobile gamers.
I've been playing Minecraft.
Yes, let's go. Good old Minecraft. I know Julian's happy about that one.
Good time.
No, and I also saw so many updates, Like I saw there was a major Minecraft update the other day. I think I was watching, who was it? I don't know if it was, I think it was a 100 Thieves streamer. I think it was Valkyrie. And like I remember I woke up and like she was still streaming. And when I went to sleep, she started. And I was like, what is going on here? I was like, it's 8 hours later, and it just goes to show how much time how much time you can spend in that game.
Yeah,
it's incredible, and to think that it's, it's such a simplistic game. Like you were saying earlier about Animal Crossing, it's so good. The game design is on point.
Dude, I think what's good about those games is that the players create their own content. rather than relying
yes.
on game developers to provide content.
Couldn't agree more, dude.
Because those
Wow.
are
in any
creative
direction.
or imaginative games where it's up to you to make it fun.
Yeah.
Where like, dude, if you're playing COD,
so
you want
true.
content. If you're playing Bot Night, you want content.
You want
If you're playing
content.
Epic, you want content. Because what else are you gonna do? Like killing people only gets you so much fun after you've done it like 6,000 times.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, and Minecraft keeps it fresh, you know, that's the thing. Because you can do literally anything your heart desires. That's so good.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome move by game developers. I don't know who made Animal Crossing, but I must applaud them. And you know, makers of Minecraft, makers of, you know, any games like where you can create your own stories. Awesome stuff. And I can see why so many people love it.
Or even Detroit Become Human had that. You create your own story.
Yeah, I feel that's why I love it so much also. Because the thing is, I'll sit there on stream and I'll be thinking, wait, this seems like a dodgy decision, but it seems like it's better for the content. And then I'm thinking, wait, this isn't ethically correct, but am I going to do it anyways? You know, that kind of thing. It's, like, it's so cleverly designed. And yikes, I really enjoy that. That's something that game developers have, you know, they've realized and they've worked so very well on it. They've worked down to the last detail and it's incredible stuff. That's why I love Detroit so much. And I also loved, you know, like I feel story driven games as well because even those with a fixed story where they have a really good one. I will say there are some story based games, some campaign based games where they've been completely bad. Like there are tons of them out there. There's so many. But like I found Ratchet and Clank, I found the Battlefield campaigns, I found all of them to be so nice, so engaging. That same kind of thing where you become the character. I think this is one of the paramount points of this whole podcast, you know, talking primarily about gaming in this one. I think gaming has that power to make you feel like you can do anything, you can feel anything. And that's something that's mind blowing. It's something that nothing else can do. It's the closest thing you can get to real life, and the closest thing you can get to experiences that you probably will never experience yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, the other side of what gaming does is like bring people together.
Yes,
Like
100%.
like we were saying, earlier, me and Chanel weren't really big mates in high school, but
Mm.
after high school, we were like, oh, Chanel plays Warzone. Like, oh, let me hop on and like get into a call with him and play some games.
Yeah,
And
we did that
look where
on
we
many
are now.
occasions. Exactly.
Yeah. And look where we are now. I'm like on a podcast with the dude. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to like get to know him better because he's like a
Me
really
too.
good guy.
Me
And
too.
like, it's just great being mates with this dude.
Yeah, no, dude, exactly
also,
the same. Yeah.
Also, like, why Guitar Hero 3 is one of my favorite games. I spent hours and hours in front of the TV with my brother
Yeah.
just playing the game. Like, I was terrible at the game when I started because I was like 10, 11 when the game came out.
Yikes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But see, my brother, being a 16-year-old, had better motor skills than I did.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
he's busy, like, getting
He's
95% of
shredding,
songs or
dude.
higher. And like I'm just there in awe of how he's doing this and just asking him to play like specific songs because they were cool. They were nice songs to listen to.
Wow.
And like over years and years playing with him and like eventually learning and to a point where I would say I'm better than him. Just because I kept up playing
Let's
and he obviously
go.
moved on to better things.
Let's go, Julian.
Like 100%, like yeah, and like I even have a guitar in my room.
Oh my
that
goodness,
I
let's
use.
go.
I actually
There we go.
I have
Let's
3
go.
guitars in my room.
What?
There's 2 behind me, and then there's that one.
Yikes.
Because you can play Guitar Hero now on PC. You can
Oh,
download
dang.
a thing called Clone Hero, and it's the same thing, except now it's with like more community-based thing. So yeah, that's like a
Yikes.
pastime of mine now when I'm not like playing Call of Duty or Rainbow or editing. what I do.
Wow, that's awesome stuff. Like that's also something that I really love about, gaming, because there's so many different facets to it. There's so many different genres. You
Yeah.
can make any kind of game you want. And it's happening on so many different levels. I mean, like we were talking about this with Rome's. Like Rome's, one of his dreams is to, go into game design. And I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what he creates. Like, I know he's got so many incredible ideas. He's pitched them to me on late nights, early mornings, at school, out of school, anywhere. And it's so amazing that, gaming and this whole realm of let's say like digital media has given people the opportunity to make incredible things.
Dude, it's another platform that people can use to express themselves.
Yo, yes.
YouTube
previously
you
had
like creative outlet.
Yeah. Otherwise, you had to be you were like put into a box as just an artist, a painter, a sketch artist.
Yeah, what is that? Then you're like, this doesn't fit me.
Do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, if you look at it, indie gamers, these guys who make indie games, these are just guys. They don't work for any company or anything. They just wanted to make a game.
Yes.
And decided, let's do it. Why not? And they actually make some really good stuff. And I mean, I enjoy watching YouTubers play these types of games and so forth. It's like very entertaining to see what people's brains come up with and like actually make it happen.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And indie games, I will say, indie games are just it's such an awesome let's say genre to keep an eye on. Like when they say watch the space, that's something you really want to keep an eye on, because there's some hidden gems that come from indie games. Like
Undertale. We all heard of Undertale.
Yes.
Ruby Fox.
Dude, yeah.
What a legend.
Dude, what a boy. Definitely. Okay, and I think that's it from us. This has been an incredible episode. We've been talking about gaming, all of the different things it's been able to do, and I'm so grateful once again to have two of the four other members of the OG squad here today. Unfortunately, Rahul and Suv couldn't make it, but I'd like to say thank you so much to Rome's right over here. I'm gonna get this finger thing right. I promise you, I will do that. And then we have Vino down here at the bottom, and we have our incredible guest, our first ever guest here on the OG Squadcast. We have Julian, a.k.a. Mr Chipmunk, our amazing mod and editor here. He's done incredible stuff, and thank you so much for coming out, guys. I just like to say
thank you for coming on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Amazing.
No, I mean, like, the time's just gone, the time's just gone, and so much time has passed. We've just been talking about gaming, and it's incredible to talk to like-minded people about this kind of stuff, because, like I said, the time just goes, and you get such meaningful conversation out of it. We're sharing it with so many people out there, all of the Shenz63 gamers that watch this. I really appreciate you guys. And so, if you did enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 250 subs. We're going to get there soon. We're going on to bigger and better things. And with that, I'd like to close the OG Squadcast episode 2 featuring Julian. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll check you next time. Peace.